This is hot.
That's why I didn't feel it.
That's smart, just to stand up. See, I got a little homemade here.
Oh, you did.
All right, welcome out to everybody out there. Just gonna wait another minute or so, then we'll get going. It's really warm here in the van.
Like I said, what was it? 2 weeks ago, I had my ski jacket on.
Don't need to wear a ski jacket today.
But that was hot.
Yeah. Ah, it's good. Friends running around, dogs running around in the vineyard. A lot of action going on here today. Yeah. People sitting up under the oak tree,
Yeah.
having a great time. Probably got a cold glass of wine. All right, great. Well, it's 4:30 here on West Coast. So let's get started. Welcome to everybody. Welcome back. Welcome for the first time. We got more people that are joining us every time. It's awesome to do this. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for drinking our wines. Thanks for having fun together with us. Cheers out there.
And you're probably wondering what happened to the bottle of wine that's usually here.
We forgot it. We got a surprise for you. We're going to do something fun today.
Yeah.
But this week was a very special week. Wednesday was Earth Day. And that was a celebration of Mother Earth, which is near and dear to us. You know that we believe so much in good, conscious farming, green farming, organic, biodynamic, as we talked about last Friday, sustainable farming, do things as good as we can, take as good care of Mother Earth as we can. That's why we have her, we need her. Most of what we consume comes from soil, and we need to keep that soil in good shape. So good to think about that. This is our 4th episode now. I hope we're getting a little bit better at it every time. At least we're spending more time preparing for it now, so hopefully it gets a little bit better. But I'm sure there's always something that happens. We hope we're not going to go sideways. What does it look like? We're not sideways yet. No, we're not sideways. Okay. Good. But we want to have a fun time. We want to celebrate that we are coming into a weekend with you guys out there. So what we're going to do here is that it's actually good. We're going to go inside.
Yeah, actually, we decided that, we've had 3 episodes in the vineyard and that we wanted to always kind of change it out. So it wasn't always going to be the same thing. And we had quite a few people ask us about food pairing. So there's a dish I make. It's pretty easy, straightforward, really good, that goes perfect with the Syrah that we have tonight. So we said, hey, why don't we do a cooking
We're going to do a cooking
show tonight. So we're going to take you into our house and kind of walk you through the recipe that we have for the Syrah, and it's actually perfect with the Syrah.
It works really good with it. Yeah.
And by the way, you have to use some of the Syrah in the recipe.
In the recipe, yeah.
So it requires 2 bottles, one for you and one for the sauce.
Yeah, it didn't quite work out that way the other day, did it? We did a rehearsal 2 days ago. We had a lot of fun doing that. In regards to communication back and forth, so a couple of people have said we really want to have more interaction. And the reason why we do this as a webinar, which is like a seminar presentation and not as a meeting where everybody can talk to each other, is that once we started having so many people, it became very confusing. Everybody, when they talk, they got the screen out there. So we changed it to a webinar. We understand some of you guys want to really have these kind of one-on-one or a little meeting or a little hang together. We're thinking about maybe we'll make something. But
we still have the chat function. That way, part of our challenge was we couldn't see the screen most of the time, so we didn't know that the camera wasn't in the right position.
And there was so much coming in on the chat, it was hard to follow it and find the questions. We will get the Q&A thing up and running. We're trying to get up and running this afternoon. Just had one problem with. But if you have questions, I know you guys will have questions, please give us those questions. Send them via the chat. Rebecca's going to be following along the way. I'll be following, and then we'll try to cover your questions as we go by. We are also recording it, and it's YouTube, and I've had problems because it's like a 1 gigabyte file. So I think I finally got it figured out how to compact it, and it'll be available on our webpage where you see everything about these virtual tastings. There will also be ongoing links to it.
Pete, People are going to get thirsty pretty soon. You know that.
I think you're thirsty. Maybe
I am.
that's why.
I'm always trying to remind you. Come on, let's get to the wine.
Let's get to the wine. In the back, you see our vineyard over there. As we go through the cooking, if we have like a few minutes, we'll take you back out. We can point out which vineyard grapes are coming in from and talk a little bit about that. And for those of you that say, okay, they ran out of things to talk about in the vineyard, don't worry, we got so many things we're going to talk about in the future. But want to do it?
Sure.
All right, cool.
Let's head
So
inside.
let's go in and see what happens. I got to give you guys a little bit of a bumpy ride here. I'm going to get over here and grab the famous camera, also known as an iPhone. And then we're going to just...
So this is our house. It's 2,300 square feet. We built it about 20 years ago. It was supposed to be a vacation house. And then when we flew into New York on 9/11, Peter would have been at the World Trade Center and they canceled the meeting at the very last minute. And we decided to sell our house in LA and move up to this house and been here ever since. So come on in.
All right, here we go into our lovely little house that we got here.
So like I said, it's about 2,300 square feet, 2 bedrooms. As you can see, that 1/3 of the house is our kitchen because we both love to cook, and that was the most important part of the feature. So everything in our house is kind of eclectic because when we've done traveling all over the world, we always bring back things from wherever we've been. I worked in Joburg, South Africa for about 2 years, and so all these African masks came from Joburg. That picture up there of the old man was actually a painting that the artist gave to my grandfather because he went into World War I, and my grandfather took care of all of his artwork until he came back and gave that one to my grandfather.
And this is from when?
The painting was done in 1902, I believe.
1902.
Yeah. And so the other thing is I'm from Alaska, so the most famous artist of Alaska is Mokatan, and so I have several Mokatan pictures. And this is kind of because the other one's the old man, this one's called Smoky Dreams. But so it kind of reminds me of my heritage. Should we go into the kitchen?
Yeah, because as you just said before, somebody's getting thirsty. The cameraman may get thirsty right now. All right, so the kitchen, as Rebecca said, is that we really wanted to have a good sized kitchen here. We want to have something that we could spend a lot of time in because, as you can imagine, we just love cooking. How can you make wine and not like cooking?
Exactly. So tonight's featured wine is our Syrah 2015. I actually call it my lip liquor because that's what everybody does, and we'll talk later about the details of the wine. But the reason why everybody licks their lips is this is a cool weather Syrah, which means that most Syrahs come from hot weather, and therefore they only sit in the front of your mouth, the front palate. They don't have the back, middle, and back. This will have all 3 palates, and it continues to linger so long in your mouth that people end up licking their lips.
Give it a try.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Happy weekend.
It's going to be perfect tonight.
It's going to be really good. So we'll talk a little bit more about the Syrah later, right?
Right.
So we'll get into all the details about where the grapes came from, what the year was like, the weather, how we've been fermenting it, and blah, blah, blah. We'll get into that and just fire along with the questions that you have from out there. But one thing that Rebecca forgot to talk about here is that it's like one of my important things in this house, as you can imagine. That's what we got over here. So here we got the wine cellar. So, and when we built the house here, we were, going to the restaurants where we could see in the background that there were these big wine cellars with glass. You could look into the wine cellars. And that's what we kind of wanted to do when we did this. So we built this as a walk-in. You can walk in from the side. There's about 700 bottle capacity in there, not a whole lot of empty holes. So
unfortunately, my husband keeps running out of space.
it's a good thing.
I tried to limit his purchases down to what can fit in that wine cellar.
Sometimes works.
Most time doesn't.
You know what, I remember the funniest thing that was, there were the guys that were doing that great radio show, Jay and what they were, these guys, Brian, and what they have, they always had this problem, they brought so much wine, and they always had it shipped to one of the other guys.
Oh,
And
so
said,
their wives would
remember that?
know.
So, oh yeah, no, that's Jay's wine that just arrived here. Well, they are. But they finally told that story on your great radio show, and now the wives were listening, you know. So let's figure that out. Okay. Anyway, what are we cooking here, honey?
Okay, so tonight, it's a great meal for when you have company over, because you don't want to have to be spending all of your energy and time in the kitchen, and instead you'd like to focus on the people and the conversations. Very straightforward, kind of elegant. I've had a lot of comments from people because it is pretty straightforward. So what it is this is arugula that you put on the platter.
And why do you pick arugula?
Because the arugula has a lot of spice to it, and since this wine is very spicy, then the sauce and everything of the arugula just really goes well together. Then what you do is, I roasted these peppers. You can use canned roasted peppers as well. And I like to do a combination of yellow and red to have color. And the way
actually, they smell really good. They still smell in here in the kitchen from when you were roasting them.
Yeah, and so you just put them out on the arugula wherever you'd like. Now, in roasting peppers, these were in the oven. You put a little bit of olive oil in a pan, put it on broil, about 400 to 450. It takes roughly 15 to 20 minutes, but on broil, you got to keep turning them around so they don't overburn, but you want to get them charred. And then what you do is you put them, once they're cooked, you put them in a contained bowl and let them sweat for about 15, 20 minutes, cooling them down.
How do you make them sweat?
They sweat on their own. You just put saran wrap on the top of the pan or the bowl, and because they're really hot, they'll sweat. And then once they're done, you will then cut them in half, remove the stems, the seeds, and take off the peel. And now you've got roasted peppers.
That looks really good. I'm sorry if you're hearing some noise in the background. Here's the reason why. So it is about 20 minutes to 5. And 5 o'clock is feeding time. So that's why Artemis just arrived here. She knows that we're getting close to that. Apollo's probably going to walk in a second.
And she can't read time very well. The next thing, what we'll be doing next is, this is a ribeye steak, which I've salted and peppered. And we're going to cook it in a pan on the stove until medium rare. And then we make a sauce, which Peter will go through. He's the sauce master. He does all the sauces. And part of the sauce is the red Syrah Gamma, as well as a really good balsamic vinaigrette. You really want to make sure you get good balsamic. Some balsamics I find are too sweet, and they won't be really good in the sauce because it will make it too sweet. And then I like to put some chopped capers into it, and that will be in the sauce. And then finally at the end, we'll put some shavings of Parmesan cheese on top of it. Looks like Peter's getting it all ready to go. So we'll have him go through what he does on cooking this steak.
So far, it's just a kind of a boring frying pan that, let's see, I think we need to adjust it. Sorry guys, this is not a professional cooking show, as you can see. This is just us trying to do our best. You want to check if there are any chat questions in the meantime?
Yeah.
To see if there's anything that, I'm sure you guys have got questions out there. It's actually nice that we got in here, honey, because it was starting to get warm. I think it's almost 90 degrees out there. Warmest day of the year so far. Absolutely by far.
Somebody said that they'd be happy to upgrade some capacity in your wine cellar.
Oh yeah. I want to make some holes in the wine cellar.
I might take you up on that.
So what we like to do is, with a good piece of meat like this, I just like to do it on a dry frying pan. So just get it really, really nice hot, and then slam it on there and just get it nicely seared. And there's
a question about the steak. How thick is it? This one is about 1.5 inches thick. I also like ribeyes that have a bone to it. as opposed to the boneless ones, because I think the bone just gives it a much more great flavor.
I agree, it does. I mean, yeah, we could have used it as a regular ribeye, but you like these guys here.
So somebody's asking about the backsplash on the
Oh yeah, that's a good
on the
question.
stove. This is we had found somebody who does what's called China painting. This is China painting. And what China painting is every single color is they put one color on, then it gets glazed. Then they put the next one or fired. Then they put the next one and it gets fired. Then the next color it gets fired. So each color is fired individually, and therefore it's virtually impossible to fade it out, scrub it out. You can scrub that wall down. And like I said, the house is 20 years old. They scrub all the time because it's flattering, and it still looks as if it was the first day. It's a picture, a little modified, of wild charisma district.
So that's for those of you that are not in California, that's what we got out here. We got these amazing missions. I can't remember, 24 of them or whatever the number was. And out here in that Parisian, halfway between where we live and where our winery is on the way out to the ocean, is where we have the beautiful La Parisian mountain. It's still very intact. It's worthwhile visiting next time you guys are up here.
Somebody is there, it looks like a porterhouse. Yeah, porterhouses and ribeyes were pretty similar, but this is a ribeye, or the grocery store didn't have them much right.
Maybe that's what it's about. One thing about cooking, and we're going to let this sit here for a few minutes and we're going to flip it, is that we want to make sure that it feels like medium rare. And one of the things that I learned way back in the old days when I was studying and did some work in the restaurant was that medium rare, a lot of you guys know it, is just like that. Feels like that. Except for I didn't have muscles here when I was 20 years old. Maybe it's all that work in the vineyards. But kind of that softness is what we want the meat to be like.
Somebody asked where we buy our meat in the area. We like to buy our meat in Long Coast at Central Coast Specialty. Has a great deli. They carry air chilled chicken, which is really important because chickens are actually clean in chlorine unless they're air chilled, and therefore they haven't been doused in chlorine. They they kill the bacteria the same way, but also the thing Central Coast does is all their meat is grass-fed, really good meat.
So this is like a little marketing thing for Central Coast. So Central Coast is this amazing place. What they got there is they have like bison, they got like camel, they got buffalo, kangaroo, they got all kind of great stuff. And we'll talk a little bit later about what we are doing next weekend when we don't do the Friday, but we do a special Saturday show. We'll get back to that later. But one of the things that we are doing on that show next Saturday for our wine club members, which hopefully all of you guys are, is that we are gonna bring in a couple of things that we got from Central Coast Specialty. Cheese, crackers. No, we can't talk about this? Okay, all right, I can't talk about this. You should have seen that place. Okay, let's see how this guys do. What do you think, Juan?
And the reason we put on the pan instead of on the barbecue is we're trying to get some of the meat flavors into the pan, which will actually get added to the sauce as we deglaze the pan.
So now that we've got a little bit of time here, let's talk about the Syrah. So it's a 2015 Syrah.
And I'll talk about it because this is my wine. Peter's the Pinot person, and I'm the Syrah person. And the Syrah is 100% from our vineyard, which remember is certified organic, biodynamic, and sustainable. So no nasty stuff in our wine. We do add a little bit of sulfite, but it's very minimal. It's low alcohol. It's unfined, unfiltered, so we don't do much to it. In fact, wild yeast, wild ML as well. So we don't manipulate our wine. We just flat get developed in the winery. It's kind of Peter's my job not to mess it up. But the other thing about this is we barrel age it for 3 years in oak barrels. Has about a third new oak on it. And what we're doing is in the oak program is we got these barrels are called hybrids. And the hybrids is the heads are American and the spades are French. And I like to say the Americans and the French are duking it out until they get integrated. Where most wineries will have a French barrel and an American barrel. It's common to do that on Syrah. But then they don't get integrated until bottling time. And I think it's missing the fact that that integration of 3 years of those two different oaks means that the American oak isn't sticking out like sometimes it can when you don't do that kind of barrel program.
Okay, I think this is perfect. This is all perfect. Great.
Got a good comment. They rather see us than see the steak as we're talking. I love that. Thanks for the feedback.
All right.
Hey, hey, thank you guys. We're still learning. So this is almost getting close to being done now because you spend more time cooking on one side than the other, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I still got a few minutes that is going on here. But I'll move this over to you for a little bit.
Oh, I love it. Somebody is this is one of their favorite wines. It's actually my favorite as well.
So one of the things I want to add on to what the wine is about is that it's 2015, and 2015 was a year, as opposed to 14, which was a big year where the yields were very high, good stuff. 15 was the lowest yield we had ever seen out there. So low, it was a warm summer and it was early. We picked this, we started the 14th of September, and within 4 days, we had picked all the Syrah grapes out. It often takes up to 2 weeks. So early, fast harvest. In between the last Pinot Noir that we picked and the first Syrah, they were literally just 3 days, and often they could be like 3 weeks. So it's kind of a little bit of a fast, quick harvest. The grapes came in, we love what they tasted like, but one of the things that we like to do, if we can, is we have one row of Viognier planted right next to the Syrah. And we planted that because we are hoping to be able to do the Côte Routier style, as it's often called, where you actually have some Viognier that blends together with the Syrah to kind of create a little more complexity, better colors, etc. But this year, we couldn't do it because the Viognier had already been picked out. So sorry, no Viognier in this. The other thing is that sometimes we can do a stem inclusion. We talked a little bit about previously, but for the Syrah and on this one, no stem inclusion. What's in this is combination of 2 clones of Syrah. I'll show you the vineyards in a few seconds. And those 2 ones are the 470 and the Estrella River clone.
Did you check the steak to see if it's ready?
Let's see how it's doing, honey. Let's see what it feels like at this point in time. You know what? I think that's it. I think we're just gonna, you want me to put over there and just let it rest? On the cutting boards over here. Good.
And then start to sauce.
So I'm gonna start my sauce here. So we got a super hot pan. So what we're gonna do is, if you can even hear me. So a lot of really good balsamic that we're just gonna throw on this. Can't use too much of good balsamic. Balsamic is a wonderful thing. And then the secret ingredients, guess what? Rebecca's Lip Liquor Syrah. So we give it like a good dose of the Syrah, and then we're just gonna let that sit there for a little while. And Rebecca has developed this kind of added thing over the last couple of years. She just loves capers. She just loves the saltiness, the great flavors, little acidity that comes out of the capers. So we're gonna add some capers into this as well here. And it will just be sitting there. Rebecca has a challenging job now because she's reading chat and she's managing the camera at the same time.
So one of the questions is we're going to post the recipe after the tasting. We can put it on Facebook, definitely.
I like the we part of it. Rebecca doesn't do Facebook. Hey, that's you, Kobe. We'll post it on Facebook.
They want to know if we always do stem inclusion in the Syrah.
We do it if the stems are right. So what it matters there with stems is that I don't have a formula. It's all about tasting and smelling. So when we de-stem everything. So when the grapes, the clusters come into the winery, they run through the big de-stemmer, grapes come out and the stems come out the other way. And then we check the stems out. What do they taste like? What do they smell like? And if they taste like something that's nice, and I like that kind of like underripe raspberry, a little bit of an earthiness to it, then they're good. If they taste like, old asparagus, we can't use it for anything. So this year we couldn't use it. The last thing about that with the stems is that when I grew up as a kid, if I'd been a good boy on a Saturday, after I came back from school at 12 o'clock, we went to school on Saturdays when I grew up in Denmark.
Poor you.
No, but I would go down with my mom to the grocer and I'll get this marzipan bread and some beer. It was so darn good. And
How did you pronounce that?
marzipan. Marzipan, it's a Danish version. So it's just like almond paste with dark bitter chocolate around. It's so good. And that smell, if the stems smell like that, they are ripe, and then we will put it into the fermenters. Not 100%, but about a third of it.
And since I didn't grow up with marzipan, I didn't recognize that too much.
Exactly. That's why I'm the guy that
So somebody wanted to know if we use pickled capers or salted capers. It's salted capers.
Salted capers. Good.
And somebody's getting quite hungry and wants to know if we could send it their way.
Okay, yeah, it'll be in FedEx tomorrow. Let's walk outside and take a little quick look. We'll just let the sauce sit there. It's just fine.
Turn it down low.
Yeah, I did.
No, you.
I didn't. Okay, I did. So what I want to show you, let's walk over here, honey. So what I want to show you guys is a little bit in the background. You see me okay then? Great. So the blocks we got in the background, that is where we got the Syrah. There's a round block there. It almost looks like, you know, a pancake. That is the Syrah clone 470. It's a very nice, very intense flavor of the Syrah. And then behind that, back in the old section of the block, is where we got the Estrella River. Two very interesting clones. They're very different. The Estrella clone is more earthy. It's got some nice dark fruits, where the 470 is a little bit more fruit forward, and it's also got some really nice peppery notes. So, yep, there goes our dogs. Okay.
Okay, a couple questions, Peter. First off, the stems for the harvest, do they taste the same if you have different stems from different like clones maybe?
I cannot claim that I can tell the clones from tasting the stems. But one of the things
do the stems taste the same? So pretty much.
They all have that earthy and the underripe raspberry notes to it, which is what I like about it. And you know, when you taste wines, if you tasted some wines with stems and you taste without stems, you kind of notice the differences. Stems can be a nice, interesting addition to a wine, but I also think there are winemakers that will overdo it and do too much stem, and it can be irritating to dominate.
They want to know what heat did you use? It was medium heat for the sauce, and as we walked out, I turned it down to low so it doesn't overcook.
But when I had the meat on it, it was a medium high.
For the meat.
Just to get really, really hot. Nice.
And people are saying, or one person says it sounds much better, I think, with this new thing you have.
Yeah, we got a new microphone. Thanks for pointing that out. We're still learning technology. We got this, it almost looks like a little kind of, what do you call those?
Fuzzy bear.
Fuzzy bear, yeah. It's a little microphone that plugs into the port on the iPhone, and it has this fuzzy thing around it that really helps with reducing the wind noise. So I think that's working. All right, want to go back in again?
Yep, I think everything's done.
Cool, let's go.
All right. Oh, that's good, that sauce. That is looking really good.
Okay. So
now, this has been resting. And we're just going to go ahead and start cutting this.
can you turn off the heat on the sauce?
So we want to, get a good cut out of this here. And we'll come back and clean it up later.
Well, I'm gonna grab it. I'm trying to hold the camera and I have to grab the.
See, it depends upon how you want your meats. Rebecca and I just tend to really like the meat when it's got a little bit more on the red side inside. So let's get rid of some of this. So, and we're gonna go out and sit and enjoy this, honey. This is gonna be really good. What do you think?
Yeah. Beautiful job.
Okay.
Perfect for us. You probably would steer it much longer if you didn't want to quite so red.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're gonna my little thumbs go.
Right there.
Just go ahead and get some of this stuff up here. Good. So everybody is ready to do some cooking out there. I will tell you next Friday, not actually 2 Fridays from now, we'll be out in the vineyard again. But I'm kind of happy that we decided to do this. Whoops. We decided to do this inside today, Rebecca, because it is so darn hot.
You'd be frying.
Yeah, we'll be frying up. See these nice little bite-sized pieces. I like this. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Bite-sized pieces. Later on. But we want to get this up here. Then we're going to go ahead and get a nice little sauce on it. And then before that, we got something really, really important that we're going to do. Because I'm going to have another glass of wine. You lost your glass. There you go. Cheers, honey.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Oh, that's good. It smells good in the kitchen right now. Okay, so finally, we're going to take some sauce. Got a real nice reduction on this. Black like the night. So just want to get a little bit of sauce on the meat here. Then we're going to top it with the capers afterwards. Yeah, very nice.
Nope, no garlic, but you can put garlic in it.
You probably could fry up some garlic.
Yeah.
Real nice. All right, you guys got the rest of it out there. We're not professional chefs. This is why we make wine for a living. We don't try to run a restaurant for a living, which we're happy about right now. But that's it. How's that, honey?
So here's a close-up picture of it. I think it's good to go.
Good. Let's bring that with us. Yeah, I'll grab this one here. All right. Go back out. I hear somebody pouring wine in the background. Let me get a little bit, fill up those glasses up there.
Oh, that was up.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, we forgot that. So nice Parmesan on the top of it.
Good quality.
Where do you get the Parmesan for this? Do you get it at Central Coast?
Yeah, Central Coast as well.
What a silly question. Of course it's at Central Coast. All right, I'm going to go take this thing out. Put it in the right spot. What a beautiful afternoon we got here. Look at this. So over in the vineyard, what you'll see is from when we saw the vineyard here a couple of weeks ago, it's starting to look a little bit more brown out there. We have not had any rain for the last couple of weeks, and we don't expect that we will see any rain here probably until September, because that's what the weather usually is like here, is it gets nicely dry during the 6 months that the vines are growing. I'm gonna put my little anchors on here. This doesn't fly away. So that's all good right there. All right. Damn, it's looking good. I'm gonna show this. Look at this. How's that? Is that good?
I'm hungry.
Getting hungry?
I think we're
you go.
actually being really cruel, us eating, and
Sorry,
everybody has
guys.
to get to watch us.
Wait.
Well, bon appetit. Should you talk about what we've got as a special deal happening this week?
Yeah, so Syrah Gamma that
Yeah.
we've just been enjoying here, we're doing a free bottle special that we are doing at $85. So 3 bottles of this at $85. And I know you guys are getting wine shipped out there. So we've seen how much wine Rebecca and I have been packing this week. A lot of wine's going out to you guys, and we really do appreciate that. So $85 for a 3-pack of the 2015 Gamma wonderful wine. And then we're going to talk about.
And then their wine club.
Oh yeah, that's right. It stacks up. So that's the price. But then if you have wine club membership, whatever your level is at, that membership discount applies on the top.
On top of that.
Stacks.
So some of you have been in our club for so long, your discount has gone up to 30% now, based on the length of time you've been in. So you're going to get a really good deal on that.
Just hang in there. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is what's going on for next 2 weekends, because it's a little bit confusing. So just hang in there with
Let me
us.
go get those bottles.
Oh yeah, they're on the back seat. Thanks, honey. So what we're gonna do is next weekend, it is time for the release of the new wine club shipments. So that's for our wine club members, which again, I hope all of you guys are. If you're not signed up on our website, we're gonna do something really, really interesting next weekend, where, and these guys will come in for later on, but we'll do something really interesting next weekend where we will have a wine club party, which we always do every time we release a wine. We have a wine club party, but this time we're not going to do it at the winery where we usually have, a lot of people coming there on a Saturday afternoon, and we do catering, have some nice bites, and open a lot of wine and library wines. We can't do that, unfortunately, because of the crisis we're in. But instead, we're going to do a virtual wine club party.
Yep. And we've, for the wine club members, your shipment's going out. There's a surprise in there.
A couple of surprises.
There's a surprise in there that will, is to be part of the wine party that we're going to have, just to make sure we're all together and we're really enjoying a good time. So anyway, it's a surprise, and you'll be getting that shortly, because most stuff is being shipped out on Monday.
And we are doing that next Saturday at what, 5 o'clock?
4:30.
4:30, same time. Okay, so it's not next Friday, next Saturday at 4:30. We'll do the Feeders Wine Club party. And we don't have like a set time we need to be done. We're actually going to be out at the winery. Hey, little boy, girl,
That's
how
a
are you?
girl.
That's a girl. That's why I always call it a boy. I don't know why. It looks like a boy. But then following, in 2 weeks from today, we start in May our virtual tasting program again. And that is going to be, again, 4 Fridays in a row. And what we're going to pour in is going to be really exciting. The first Friday, because it's close to Mother's Day, we decided Mother's Day is about bubbles.
Yep.
So we're just releasing our 2017 Blanc de Noir sparkling wine.
We only have 30 cases of it, so it's very limited.
Very limited. So there's a bottle of that. It's a great sparkling wine. And then after that, we're going to do the Lambda 2016, which Viognier first, and then Lambda. Okay. So we'll let you guys know about what we're opening. But that's going to be the 19 Viognier and then the 16 Lambda Pinot Noir. And then the last Friday in May, we're going to do something very, very special, because we want to do barrel tasting with you guys, but we can't bring you into our barrel room. So we're going to bring the barrel room into your living room, or into your porch, or into your tailgate, or whatever. And what we did here 4 days ago was that Rebecca and Jesse and Matt and I, Heather, what we did was we had selected 3 different barrels of Pinot Noir from 2018 vintage. Very good vintage. It's fantastic. When we tasted the other day, wasn't that great?
Yep.
That Pomar. So we keep the clones different. We talked a little bit about, we keep them separate. We talked a little bit about clones before.
He's Danish. English is not his primary language.
And yours is?
Not English either.
Alaskan. So what we did was we picked 3 different barrels of 2018 Pinot Noir with the 3 different clones in it. And we bottled them up separately. And one of them, which is that one, the 667, right?
Yep.
Yeah, is from a new oak barrel. So the other 2 ones are clone 115 and clone Pomar. And these little, aren't they sexy? These little bottles here, half
cute.
bottle, 375s.
What we're going to do is explain the difference with clones and how clones make really a difference in the wines based on how you use the clones. It's kind of like using multiple apples in apple pie. Makes the apple pie even better. So anyway, this is part of, take a look on our website. We have the May virtual tasting packages out there. Very, very good deal. And part of those, that May tasting package will include 3 bottles, which is actually a bottle and a half of wine with these 3 combined. To join us on the virtual barrel tasting, and we're going to be blending a wine together.
Oh, that's right. Then we're going to start blending it together.
Yes.
Taste them separately and then blend them.
Blend them together. And in your packet, we'll give you the information to make sure you know what you have to be part of that blending. Like you need a shot glass, and how many glasses of empty glasses of wine glasses you need, etc.
Yeah, so we'll get that all figured out, but that's a month down the road.
But take a look at our website. It's under the shop tag, virtual wine tastings. We have some really good special deals going on. And like we said, if you're a wine club member, that wine club discount applies.
Good. Do we have any more questions or something out there? Oh, we forgot a phone in. Okay, so sorry. We forgot one of our important devices, so we can't see your questions. Rebecca's going to bring that out here. But so just kind of getting towards the end of this, I'll let you know that it's, even though we have a lot of crisis and a lot of challenging things going on out there, it is so rewarding for Rebecca and I to be here in the vineyards, to be here where things are growing. And so far, it looks like It's a very, very promising year. We got good rain, as you've heard a number of times, and now the rain has stopped. Now the sun is coming in, it's heating up. Next time we are together here at the ranch in 2 weeks, we're going to be out in the vineyard. We'll take a look at the shoots, and you're going to see a lot of changes out there. Okay, what's happening out there?
Okay, so I love this. And I think it's actually really, really good. And it's exactly yours of my first comment. When we've been doing the Ampelos pickup parties in our winery, of course, only people from like LA or local are able to attend, but somebody from New York, it's really difficult. So I got somebody here saying they're so thrilled that they're going to finally be able to attend one of our
That's
parties.
cool. That's great.
That's going to be cool.
And you know what, Rebecca, what I really like about these sessions that we are doing here is that it's just a great way for us to communicate with a lot of people that we don't see that often, and to constantly communicate the excitement of the farming that we are doing, the winemaking we are doing, because it is just a very, very lucky job that we've got, that we are able to be here. We are able to do this for a living.
And just one wrap up item. When you get these barrel samples, don't start drinking them ahead.
Don't
otherwise-
cheat. Don't cheat. Keep them until we tell you to open them, right? Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't be able to blend a special Pinot Noir for that
Yeah, you're
night.
going to miss all the fun. Some of you can't resist. I know that some of the stuff we send out as little surprises for the wine club party next weekend. Some of you guys have already been eating that out there, okay, or enjoying it out there. Okay, that's your problem. We want to celebrate together.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this session and keep coming back. And we will keep trying to improve the sound and all the camera angles and everything we're trying to learn.
We keep learning, but it's fun. Thank you again for being part of this, guys, and have a great, great weekend. Cheers.
Cheers.